You made me smile. Hi. Yes, this is Politic Graham. Today is December the 6th, and yes, there has been a lot of news, a lot of things going on. Let's jump start. Fair use. As always, I'll read fair use copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Hello, Janice. Hello, Joshua. Hello. Thank you guys for coming in. Now, today we're going to talk about, if you guys know what's been going on in this world. Janice says, hello, everyone. Joshua says, good morning, Politic. Janice says, hello, PG, thumbs up. Thank you so much. Janice says, sending hugs. Big hugs to you too, Janice. Joy says, good morning. And thank you guys for coming in. Today, we are going to talk about a lot of things. And if you guys know what's been going on, yes, there's been a hit. Well, let me be careful. Let me give it time before I say the words, okay? Let's just show it, okay? So today we're going to talk about Diddy. Diddy has filed a new motion. Diddy has filed a new motion, as well as there is a new lead prosecutor in the Diddy trial. In addition to that, we're going to talk about what happened in New York. Yes, what happened in New York with the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. Yes, we're going to have to talk about it. Also, we're going to talk about a part 2 with Pete Hegseth. And motivation, as always, motivation. The motivational quote for today is 2 quotes. Life is lived forward once, but look back many times. And also be comfortable of the uncomfortable. Now, let's get this started. What happened? What happened this week? This person, unnamed, unalived a CEO. Yes, unalived a CEO named Brian Thompson. Yes. And if you see this guy, I'm going to make sure I start this aloud and start this. Please notify the authorities if you see him. Why? We're going to break it down what happened. Okay? This particular gentleman, Brian, this gentleman right here, he was unalived by this gentleman who is unnamed. And it all happened outside of the Hilton Hotel on 6th Avenue in New York. Hours before this CEO was set to address an investor meeting. Okay? And here's information on this suspect. This suspect is described as a white male. He shared a room in a hostel, okay? Hostel hotel, okay, with 2 strangers. They are currently looking at surveillance cameras all over New York to look for this guy, ladies and gentlemen. This particular guy that unalived, okay? Unalived a CEO, okay? And according to what's been going on, cameras has showed him all over Manhattan. One video showed him coming out of a subway before the attack of the CEO. The second video shows the suspect riding an electric bike out of New York Central Park on Manhattan Upper West Side, 85th Street. And thank you guys for coming in. Hello, Juice. Thank you so much for coming in. You guys, we are talking about this first. We're going to talk about Diddy. We have a lot of things to talk about because it seems like a lot of things been going on in New York recently. A lot of things been going on in New York. And also I want to make sure we're gonna talk about it. And thank you guys for coming in. Jennifer says, morning. Why? Jennifer says, why? Why what, Jennifer? Why? Now, I don't know what's going on with what's going on in this world today, because it is a lot. And when I say it is a lot been going on, I mean Donald Trump has been getting a lot of threats on his end, as well as his picks. And it's so odd that now this gentleman who is unnamed, unalived a CEO due to a grudge. Allegedly a grudge. And hello, Art of War. Art of War says, good morning, news lady. Good morning, Art of War. Good morning, good morning. Now, like I stated, what is up with this gentleman? What is up with this gentleman? Okay, based off of what I have looked up, he used a 9mm pop with a long, quote unquote, that is made as a silencer. Okay, and I got to be careful with how I describe this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, what this gentleman did. This gentleman that you're looking at still has no name. Okay, and I really believe this. Before we continue, I really believe the authorities, they already know this man. They already know this man. Why? Because when he did what he did after he dropped his cell phone. He dropped his cell phone. And I want you guys to look at this backpack. This particular backpack, he dropped that too. There's a lot of things that this gentleman dropped, after he unalived the CEO. The CEO of UnitedHealthcare. There's a lot of things that he dropped. So serious. You can't make this up. But we're going to continue. He used a 9mm pop millimeter. Authorities found shell casings that had words written with permanent marker that said, delay, deny, fend. He checked into an actual Manhattan hostel back on Saturday, November the 30th. And he used a fake name. He shared a room with two strangers. And the room number, what they say, was 407. And I want people to, I have a question. Has anybody heard of hostel? Because where I live, we don't have that. We do not have a place called hostel. And basically what a hostel is basically one room, and it's like bunk beds. And each bunk bed has a person, and one room might have between 4 to 12 people in it. I've never heard it. But I'm going to show you one person that was actually living in this hostel the same time as this suspect. He actually is going to describe how it actually looked. He's just going to describe it for you guys. Now, moving forward, they say that investigators are searching the hostel such that they locked the room that this man was living in. The room that he stayed in, room 407. And even Mayor Eric Adams, of all people, this is when you know it's getting bad. This is when you know it's getting bad. The mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, you know it gets bad. He does an interview, and he says that they do not want to impede the investigation, okay, and hurt the prosecution, okay? And this is why I feel they already know who this guy is. They already have an idea who this guy is. Art of War says a lot of people use hostels overseas. Oh, okay. Let me pin that. A lot of people use hostels overseas when traveling because they are cheaper place to stay overnight. I'm telling you, I mean, it's so weird. You know what? If I was living there, I would be petrified, because if I'm saying I would be petrified in the sense that, oh my goodness, I was sleeping right by this person. I was sleeping in the same building as this person. I never knew that he had a 9mm pop in his book bag. Joy says hostels are similar to YMCA here in the States. Oh, okay. I get it. It was just the way they had worded it. Now, detectives trace the recent purchases of this particular pop that this guy used, and they traced it back to the state of Connecticut. The model allegedly used is called, okay, BNT Station 6-9. It's a silence projector, okay? I'm going to just be very careful with my words, okay? So it is a BNT Station 6-9, okay? It's a silencer. Authorities are using various surveillance cameras throughout New York to trace, okay, the suspect's movements. Hello, Clip. Thank you for coming in. And hello, guys. Thank you for coming in. This is Politic Graham. We're talking about, yes, you already know. You already know what's been going on here in America. And the gentleman that we're talking about is this suspect. And he's still on the loose. And they still have not said or identified this man's name. But I'm telling you, my personal belief, I feel they have more, they know more. The authorities know more than what they're saying, because they don't want to let this person know that they know. But I want you guys to understand. Clip says, what did he do? Thank you for asking, Clip. Basically, he unalived an actual CEO of a company, insurance company. Okay? He unalived this particular gentleman that I'm going to show you. This gentleman right here. His name was Brian Thompson. Jennifer says the guy cleared the pop, right? Yes. And you know what? That's enough. Thank you so much, Jennifer. That's another thing that told on himself. The suspect, he told on himself. Why? Because he showed in the video that he did not know how to clear it. He was having issues. He was having issues using this pop. And it's weird, because I want you guys to understand, just to kind of give you guys an idea of how this scene looked. Brian Thompson was walking early in the morning, okay? Early in the morning, almost 7 a.m. Walking outside of Hilton Hotel. I want you guys to get an idea. Outside of the Hilton Hotel on the 6th Avenue in New York. This is where he was staying, because he was supposed to be speaking. And as he's walking outside of the hotel, he's almost about to pass a lady. She's just standing there. And someone behind him, this gentleman right here, walks up behind, and Brian Thompson did not even see it coming. He walks up behind him, and he popped this person. Pop this gentleman right here. And continuing, okay, now they're looking for this person. And they said that this unnamed suspect used the subway to get to the hotel. He used the subway around 6:15 a.m. to buy. You cannot make this up, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot make this up. Just before he did what he did, I'm going to highlight it for you guys to see. Just before he unalived, okay, this CEO, Brian Thompson, he had the nerve at 6:15 a.m. to buy a bottle of water and 2 power bars from Starbucks as he was heading to Hilton Hotel, carrying a backpack. Clip says, I wonder why. And see, this is what is so ironic about all of this, right? All of this is going on and nobody is knowing what is going on at the same time in New York. Now, 6:15 a.m., he goes to Starbucks, get a bottle of water, get 2 power bars. Then 6:29 a.m. Hello, thanks for coming in. 6:29 a.m. He's headed to the Hilton Hotel. 6:44 a.m. That is when this suspect approaches Brian Thompson from behind. Okay? And according to authorities, there were 3 pops. 3. And this was seen by witnesses. One witness was a gentleman, he's a taxi driver. He was in his minivan dropping somebody off in the front of the Hilton Hotel. And according to him, he said it all happened so fast. He said once the suspect did what he did, he hopped on, ran, and he tried to get a picture, but he couldn't get the picture fast. And hello, I am Jacob. Thanks for coming in. And hello, Edward. Thank you for coming in. Jennifer says, now, if I invested in something and found out the Department of Justice was investigating the company, the CEO and the other big guys sold their stock. So, yeah, there are people who lost millions because of what the CEO didn't do. Hello, Boosie. Boosie says, Boosie, I'm passionate. I'm very passionate because people don't realize it's just like what Jennifer said. And I'm going to put what Jennifer said. People do not realize everything has a consequence. I do not condone what this person did. I don't. Right? But you have to be careful how you move and how you treat people. You have to be careful how you move and how you treat people. Because if you don't, things like this will happen. And based off what Jennifer is saying, I'm going to go on to it with this particular CEO, Brian Thompson. He had been working for UnitedHealthcare for over 20 years. He worked his way up. Right? And a lot of people were very upset with him because of how this particular insurance company treated people. But the question still remains. Did that give this person right here the right to unalive him for another life? And also, I want people to understand this. I'm going to continue. I'm going to break it down even more. Now, We already said 6:15 a.m. He goes to Starbucks. By the time he's at the hotel at 6:29, he's waiting for Brian Thompson. Now he's waiting for Brian Thompson. Waiting for him at 6:29, Brian Thompson walked out the hotel, walking out the hotel, and that's when he comes up at 6:44 a.m. and pops him. And when he pops him, Brian is hit 3 times. 3. Allegedly. 3 times. Jeffrey, thank you for coming in. Jeffrey says, is it the same guy? What are you saying? Is it the same guy? This is the guy. And as I was stating, and thank you guys for coming in, please hit that like button. When it comes down to what's been going on with this guy, he hit the CEO in the back, in the leg, and he left him and ran. The suspect, I want to get people to know, the suspect, what authorities have said, he's 5'10" in height. He wore a cream-colored jacket, black mask, black glove, okay, on the day this happened. And also they said right after he did what he did to Brian Thompson at 6:44, at 6:59, 15 minutes later, he made it to between 25 to 30 blocks north away from Hilton Hotel. So this telling you guys he's going fast on a bike. On a bike. He's going fast. And he was going so fast, detectives found the phone and the bottle, the bottle that the water was in, that he bought from Starbucks near the scene. And detectives say they lifted a fingerprint off the bottle, but it was smudged. And according to them, now there is no motive. Rich says, good morning. What is going on? Rich, yes, it is. Yes, we have had another episode here in America. This is really wild. This is very interesting. And the reason I want to talk about, I had to talk about this first, because if you guys know what's been going on, I don't want to say any names, but if you guys know what's been going on with this person, right? He has been getting you know what too. And people are very upset with his picks as well as with him, right? Just like people were very upset with this CEO who was popped in New York. Very upset, because it's just like what Jennifer, what I pinned, what she said. She said it best. Jennifer says, my mom called the insurance company. Whoa, the bean counter. They are the people without any medical knowledge or schooling making decisions based on price, not on the real medical need. And see, this is why people are very upset. Very upset. Not only at this company that he worked for, but upset with him because he was actually the CEO. And this is why people have to understand. You have to be careful with the position that you are offered, because you don't know what might come behind that position that you are, quote unquote, what? Offered. You have to be careful, because just like I said, look at all the times that has happened to him, the attempts. Right? With Mr. Donald Trump. And I'll tell you another one. Look at all the times that has happened to these people. All of the people that has been nominated by Donald Trump. We talked about Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz dropped his bid, and even after he dropped his nomination, his own nomination, he still got threatened. His family still got threats. So this is why I wanted to talk about this particular CEO. And thank you guys for coming in. Hello, Amber J. Good morning. Amber J says probably one of those investors keeping his mouth shut before the investigation. Whoa. I'm guessing somebody doesn't want to be implicated. 117 million is not a small amount to make from inside trading fraud. You guys are really getting hot this morning. And thank you, Amber, for coming in. You guys are really getting hot this morning. Because this is why they say this is what happened to Brian Thompson for that reason. And the gentleman that did all of this is this gentleman. This gentleman. They're all the same. These are different surveillance shots of him. Clips of him at different locations. This right here was how he looked in Starbucks. This was him in Starbucks. And thank you guys for coming in. Yes, Clip says RIP. And yes, good morning, Amber. Gully says yes. I think all of this is a bunch of mess what's going on. And this is just to tell you guys how people are very upset with how they are being treated by the insurance companies, by not only the insurance companies, when it comes down with everything that we have going on here in society in America. People are very frustrated. They don't know how to get their frustrations out. Mental health is real. Miss Know-It-All says, I think he's a foreigner. I don't know, Miss Know-It-All, because come to find out, we're going to continue. Because this particular person, I could have been affected. I could have been affected. Why? Because according to the authorities, he traveled by Greyhound from the state that I live in. He took the Greyhound from Atlanta, Georgia to New York to specifically unalive this CEO. Now I'm going to break it down. The suspect, according to what the authorities say, he is 5'10" in height. He appears to be Caucasian. And around 6:59 a.m., after he did what he did, he headed north away from Hilton Hotel on a bike, and he dropped his phone. He dropped his water bottle. He dropped even his backpack. Yes. Hello, Candy. Thank you for coming in. Big Dude says, not sure how I feel about this. Candy says, I lost $1,400 to that specific. Are you serious, Cannon? I lost $1,400 to that Pacific company in medical allowance fund about 10 years ago. Whoa. Jennifer says, I lost my brother from a company doing what was cheaper 30 years ago. We have had this going on far too long. Big Duke says, could have been for any reason. He had just one. Whoa. Candace says, big scam. And good morning, Candace. Candace says, but what we're not supposed to know is all the illegal immigrants have also been put on UnitedHealthcare. Whoa. And that's why all the doctors are dropping UnitedHealthcare. Whoa. You guys are coming in with a lot of heat. Because when I first found out about this particular issue, hello, Junkyard. When I first found out about this particular issue, I was like, whoa, I feel sorry for this guy. But when I start looking up more and more about this guy, I was like, well, I don't know. Because even with the cases that were found, what this suspect used to unalive this CEO, it read, and I quote, impermanent marker, deny, defend, and depose. People speculate words come from a book called Deny, Defend, and Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claim, and what you can do about it. And this book was published in 2010. Earlier this year, and it's going off of what you guys are stating in the comments, I'm going to highlight it. Earlier this year, I got to highlight it. People have been protesting against this company. They have been protesting. And I'm going to thank you guys for coming in. Junkyard says somebody had to drop the intel on where he would be. Yes, and this is why I'm trying to understand why people are moving the way they're moving. Because I believe everything. He didn't do it by himself. There's no way. Because Junkyard said it best. How did he know the location? How did this suspect know the location of where this CEO was going? Now, we're going to break it even down even more. We're going to even break it down even more. Because protesters earlier, okay, prior to this, they were protesting in Minnesota where Brian Thompson was living. And they protested at least twice. And one of the protesters staged themselves carrying a coffin, mocking a coffin. Protesters, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and this CEO, yes, Brian, he was compensated. He was given a package of $10.2 million as a reward. While all of these people here, all of the people, just like Cannon, just like Jennifer, a lot of people, were victims or knew somebody, okay? When it comes down to them taking money, this insurance company. And see, this is why I want people to understand this. All of this is coming into play with some of the things that Donald Trump is trying to start up. Because remember, he wants to start up a department called what? Dodge. He wants to start up these particular programs, departments, right? To alleviate these matters. Scams, as they say, big scams. Now, one person that is the director of one of these organizations that deal with protesting, called People's Actions Protest, he stated how the reason that they protest, they're against UnitedHealthcare, okay? They want to bring people together to turn the private pain into power in a non-violent way. That's what he said, in a non-violent way. But I want people to understand what he did, that was not non-violent. Now let's break down Brian, the victim, right? We're going to break this quote-unquote victim down because it gets more deeper, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming in. Hello, Deb. Deb says, new listener here. I love your take on things and how you present all the facts from all sides. Thank you. I'm going to highlight that. Thank you so much, Deb, for coming in. I hope you hit that like button. Cannon says, your tax dollars sailing away. It is. Joyce says, welcome, Deb. Miss Nordahl says, CEO was headed to a conference. Yes. And this particular CEO, I want people to understand. People were upset at him because they feel like you know what's going on. You know how this company has hurt families, has hindered families, but you still continue to work for this company. You still continue. Now with Brian Thompson, he passed away at 50 years old. He was making $9 million a year. He didn't, he's, I'm not going to say he didn't care, but it appeared as if he said, whatever, I'm getting $9 million. We're going to move forward. Brian Thompson first joined UnitedHealth Group in 2004. He's been working for this company for 20 years. Going to highlight it. He's been working for UnitedHealthcare since 2004 and had previously served as a CEO, okay, of the company's government programs. Government programs, ladies and gentlemen, including Medicare, retiree coverage, community and state programs providing Medicaid, and other types of coverage to millions of individuals. See, this is why people were upset with him. Because he knew what was going on. He knew what was going on. And I'm going to give you guys another one. And this is not bashing anybody, because I'm going to make sure I want people to be on the same page as I am. I do not condone any type of violence, because you can get your point across without harming someone, without harming another family. There's no tit for tat, right? There's no tit for tat. And as a matter of fact, that's what YouTube speaks on. YouTube community is a non-violence community platform, right? But like I stated, you have to be careful of the companies that you work for or the job that you work for. Money isn't everything. Money is not supposed to make you shake. Money is not supposed to help wake you up. You are supposed to wake yourself up. It's how you treat people. But according to this, what I highlighted, he had been working for this company 20 years, working into areas dealing with the company's government programs that included Medicare, retiree coverage, community and state programs, providing Medicaid and other types of coverage to millions of individuals. Brian held other positions in the company. It included Chief Financial Officer. Think about it. For UnitedHealthcare's employer and individual, community, and state Medicare and retirement businesses. I'm highlighting it. He also served as a financial controller for UnitedHealthcare's employer and individual businesses and was a director in the company's corporate development division. And according to his LinkedIn account, prior to working at this company, gonna highlight it. He worked as a certified public accountant for an accounting firm called PwC. So people were looking at him like, you know what's going on. You know about this money. You know about this money. You know what's going on. Look, don't believe me? Let's break it down. He graduated with a degree in what? Business administration. So he knows. Should I say he knew now? Because he's passed away. But let's break it down even more about Mr. Thompson. And that's why I tell people, I say this. Just because you have all this money, you can still go through problems. And this is why I'm showing this lady right here. And thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to go back into the comments. Deb says, it's interesting. He only had to wait 15 minutes and still made time for Starbucks. Exactly. Now, Deb, I'm going to say this. When it comes down to the suspect, there have been rumors stating that he came in, he was watching that location, the Hilton Hotel. He had been watching that location the day before. Right? He had been watching it. And Deb, you're also right though. That's why people are stating he didn't do it by himself. He didn't do it by himself. Candace says, I am on UnitedHealthcare disability. Oh, wow. And except for my primary care provider, I have to drive 2 hours to any doctor I have to see because no local doctors would take my insurance. Oh, my goodness. Candace, I'm so sorry to hear that. Wow. I'm about to cry. I'm trying not to get emotional. I'm so sorry, you guys. Amber says, UnitedHealthcare pulling a Boeing. I'm so sorry, Candace. I'm trying not to get emotional in here. And thank you guys for coming in. Junkyard says, I think the narrative they are going to tell in the news won't be the real reason for why he was pawed. Jennifer says, the CEO is a millionaire. Why didn't he get a hotel like celebrities do when they use fake name? Why sleep with many people in a room? Now, I would say this. It wasn't the CEO that was sleeping in the room with many people. It was the so-called suspect, this guy. This was the guy that was sleeping in a room with a lot of people. Now, the CEO, I will say this, okay? I do feel, and you guys let me know if you concur, I do feel this particular CEO, he should have had security. He should have had security, 24/7 security, heading or going to New York to do a conference. Why? I'm going to explain why. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Okay, Wilf Thompson, Brian Thompson, this is his wife. His wife is beautiful. He left behind a beautiful, smart, educated, working woman with two teenage boys. But this is the issue I have with even her. Because she did an interview. And she stated that her husband had received previous threats. Okay? Previous. Before he even went to New York. My issue is with this, why didn't they get security? And if I were her, I'm going to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I would still have security right now. I really would. And Kav, thank you for coming in. I'm very passionate. Hello, Wellness with Fugal Mama. Hello. Thank you for coming in. Jennifer says, he was at a convention. Everyone at the conference knew that this company would be there. He knows exactly what that company does to their customers. Exactly. Tanner, thank you for coming in. Tanner says this guy made a lot of people upset. One too many. Flower says, I need my coffee first. Miss Know-It-All says, clock that. Candace says, ever wonder why you cannot find a decent house for less than $500,000? Whoa. Tanner says, I just got here. What did he do? Tanner, with this particular gentleman that you're looking at, this gentleman right here, his name is Brian Thompson. He was deleted, unalived, okay? He was unalived in the front of a hotel in New York called the Hilton Hotel, right? And now this suspect is on the loose. This gentleman right here, Tanner, and thank you guys for coming in. This suspect is on the loose. And if anybody knows the whereabouts, I'm going to highlight the number. If anybody knows the whereabouts, here's the number. Okay? If you see this person, please do not go near him, because he did what he did, and I wouldn't be surprised what else he might do at this point. So please be careful, ladies and gentlemen. If you see him, notify the authorities. Now back to Brian Thompson and his wife. His wife did an interview recently after this. Her name is Paulette Thompson. And she said, and I quote, in an interview, there had been some threats. I don't know the details, but it was something about a lack of coverage. Brian mentioned it, but I didn't think it was serious. That's what she said. She didn't think it was serious. I want you guys to think about that. And then we're going to even break it down even more. Controversy on this. The company has been under investigation by the Department of Justice for potential antitrust violations. UnitedHealthcare's parent company, UnitedHealth Group, was recently sued to block 2.59 billion acquisition of home health care. Thompson had reportedly sold $12 million worth of stock prior to this investigation, raising questions about insider trading. So he knew. I'm not sure if it was Joy or Jennifer. One of you ladies said it. He knew. And this is the odd one for me. I don't know if you guys know about this part. And thank you guys for coming in. Candace says insurance is a failed idea. Flower says if you work in healthcare, it's difficult to find a company that isn't corrupt. Oh, that sounds familiar. That's something that we was talking about yesterday, right? Something similar about what we talked about yesterday when it comes down to politics. And thank you so much. Art of War says, good morning, news lady. Keep us up. Keep up the good work. It's 17 degrees in Ohio. Woo! And thank you so much, Art of War. Art of War, if you know where, it's cold here too. It's cold here where I am in Georgia. Just go. And thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you. Now, Tanner says, what with income like that, you would think they could afford to lower deductibles. Exactly. See, nobody cares. Well, you know what? Let me be careful. It's all about what they make. They don't really care, right? Because I will say this now I could be wrong. But when it comes down for what I looked up, when it comes down to this gentleman right here, Brian Thompson, he made $9 million a year in salary. He sold stock when he knew investigations were going on. He showed $12 million worth of this stock out of the company he's working for. So it's not like he didn't know. But this is the catcher right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the catcher right here. And I want people to tell me if you knew this. Brian and his wife, they have not even been living together for years. They've been living in two different homes. This is one home. I'm going to show you the first home. This is the first home they purchased. This is all in Minnesota. And this is the kicker right here. These two homes are I think they say less than 1 mile apart, allegedly. 1 mile apart from each other. Built in 2011, worth over $817,000. That was the first home they bought in Minnesota. How many bedrooms? 5 bedrooms. 5 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms. How do I know? Because that's what was said of the second house they purchased in 2018. They bought that house for $1.1 million. How is it? I want people to understand this. This is why I say it's more to it than what I feel she's saying, this wife. Because she said, according to her, she said there had been some threats, but I didn't think it was serious. Brian mentioned it, but I didn't think it was serious. And Brian allegedly, according to him, based off the camera, the surveillance, and I have to be very careful of not showing that. I might try to edit it out. But the surveillance camera showing him walking outside of the Hilton Hotel, right? He's walking by himself. Not a care in the world, not aware of his surroundings, and that's when the suspect came up behind him. Now, Minnesota. Let's talk about Minnesota. Minnesota is the same state that has the governor of whom? Who's the governor? This gentleman, Tim Walz. Some people in Minnesota call him Timmy Tampon. Allegedly. That's what they say. Allegedly. And he released a statement in regards to Brian Thompson's passing. He said, "This is horrifying news and a terrible loss for the business and healthcare community in Minnesota. Minnesota is sending our prayers to Brian's family and the UnitedHealthcare team." I don't know if Tim Walz should have put that statement out. I don't know, because based off of the conversations that we're having in this chat and what I looked up in regards to this company, they have took more money than help people. They've taken money. They've stolen money. They've helped themselves. Look at it. $2.59 billion. Brian had so much, he got so scared, he sold $12 million of his own stock. So he won't get, so nobody will look at him funny. Then to top it all off, well, he made $9 million a year. $9 million. Now I will say this. I'm going to go back into the comments. Thank you guys for commenting. Amber says, I mean, when your biggest stockholders are worth billions and trillions, aka BlackRock, whoa, the government, etc., what is one life worth? Whoa. Flower says, all the healthcare CEOs make millions. I bet he made more than that in bonuses. Candace says, can't say he didn't know. He knew. Jennifer says, $9 million a year and stayed in, no, Jennifer, not the hostel, no. Oh, stayed in no. He stayed in the actual hotel. Oh, you say hostile. Tanner says, it sure was hostile. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Now, I will say this. What's happened, okay, in regards to this suspect, I wanted to show a clip, you guys. I wanted to show a clip, and this is fair use. I wanted to have some time go by before I show the clip, okay? Now, the clip that I'm going to show you, this is one of the people that was living in the same location as the suspect. A hotel. It's called a hostel. Okay? I'm going to show a clip. And in this clip, this gentleman is stating how he never saw this unnamed suspect that they say stayed there with him. He said, according to him, and I'm going to actually show who I'm talking about, this gentleman right here. He said, according to him, he said each room holds between 4 to 12 people. And in this building, he not one time seen this suspect. So with him, he's been going around, this gentleman right here, he's been going around doing interviews. And we're going to play a clip of him describing this particular place. It's a hostel.
The hostel is actually really crowded. There are a lot of people there, so they divide like rooms to, I think, 4 to 10 people. But in the hallway,
4 to 10 people in one room.
Yeah, 4 to 10 or 12, 4 to 12, yeah. So the hallway is just simple. It's just the doors that go to the rooms, the shared rooms. That's it. That's pretty simple. How the hallways look.
So it would seem from what you're saying that if he was staying on that floor, as they believe he was, that he would have had other people in the room.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so now you've been staying there for about a week.
Yeah.
And you're talking about these rooms that you got 4 to 12 people in a room.
Yeah.
So
4 to 12 people. Now, I want people to understand this. I'm going to go back to show this guy. He's in a room with other people, and nobody's even knowing that he has what he had all in his book bag. Nobody's not even realizing it. But remember what I said. You have to be careful. Now, before I go forward, I want people to understand there is a reward out for this guy that is unnamed. Okay? There's a $10,000 reward out for him. So if you see him, Okay? Don't approach him. If you see him, okay? Call the authorities to get that $10,000. Call the authorities to get the $10,000. Now it's really, I would say this, it's really, really sad how all of this has came about. Why? Because now, like I told you guys, people are very frustrated. They're very upset. They're very upset with all of this that's been going on. Inflation. Okay? The schools having mass incidents. Public schools here in America. So now it seems to me, and I'm just being honest, it's looking like more and more incidents are happening closer and closer. I don't know if you guys noticed that. And I'm not saying live in fear. I'm not going to say live in fear. But the way things are going on now, it makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder. And thank you guys for coming in. We are talking about this suspect. I'm going to move forward. Before I move forward, let me go back into the comments. And we're going to talk about, Louise says, I don't even feel bad for the guy. Whoa. People shouldn't be getting rich off of people passing. People shouldn't have to jump through loops just to make sure their loved ones can keep living. I agree, Louise, and thank you. I absolutely agree. Absolutely. Candace says 12 degrees in Tennessee. Woo! That's cold. George says at Art of War, yes, Ohio is freezing in Tennessee too, by the looks of it. Miss Know-It-All says we've already had our first snow in central North Carolina. I want some snow, though. I'm not going to lie. We don't have snow yet. Not where I'm at. I want some snow. I want some snow. Because where I live, it's cold, but it's no snow. It is no snow. And thank you guys for coming in. Now we're going to move forward. Let me make sure I read some more of these comments. Miss Know-It-All says he's living a double life. Yes. This particular guy we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is Brian Thompson. I really believe, because why would you buy a house a mile away? Why would you buy a house a mile away from each other? Deb says, I researched and it looks that most insurance CEOs have a salary plus lots of other compensation that usually leads to a total of 15 to 30 million in annual income. Hello, Cal. Thank you for coming in. Cal says we call him Tampon Timmy. Cal says we call him Tampon Timmy. Weldon says, greetings, everyone. Happy Friday. Tanner says, it's time. It's time for these companies to open their eyes. If this becomes a trend, they are going to be forced to listen to their customers who have been struggling years after years. Jennifer says, I don't think Waltz is the biggest light on, has the biggest light on. I don't know. You know what? I will say this. You can't keep doing wrong and get away with it. Right? And who has been doing wrong for years and years and years and years? I think you guys know who I'm going to talk about next. Who has been doing wrong for years after years after years, and it is this guy. It is this guy. Puff Daddy, Diddy, Sean Combs. You pick a name. You pick a name. He has been getting into troubles, right? And treating people wrong for years. And remember, and yes, he's in the news again. That darn Diddy. He's in the news again. And why is he in the news? Because his attorneys, you can't make this up, they have filed another motion. Another motion. You can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen. And all because Diddy is not getting his way once again. Locked up and can't get his way. Now, according to what was filed, this was filed recently. Diddy's defense team, they have requested, they're begging the judge to allow Diddy to use the laptop behind bars. The defense team is requesting, the following. The person that we're talking about is this gentleman right here, Diddy. They're requesting the court to direct the Metropolitan Detention Center to provide Mr. Combs with the laptop that has been prepared and provided by the government, and allow Diddy to use it in the unit. And they're also requesting, that the government stop sending copies of attorney visitation forms. Those are two things that they're requesting. Why? Because according to Diddy's attorneys, they're stating that the government is snooping, is still spying on Diddy even while he is locked up. That is what they're saying. They're saying even while he is locked up at this particular detention center in Brooklyn, New York, right here, they're stating even after, I gotta break it down. Even after the judge made his decision as denying him bail again for the fourth time. I want people to know that it's not 3 times, for the 4th time. They are still saying that the prosecutors are still trying to come for him even while he's locked up. They're still spying on him. They're still snooping on him. They still have not complied with what the judge told them. And what did the judge tell them? I'm going to show you what the judge said. What the quote-unquote judge said. And thank you guys for coming in. The judge said, and I quote, the federal prosecution has until December the 31st, of 2024 to provide Diddy access to his laptop that was taken away by government. And he also said, as a result, Diddy has over the next 5 months to prepare himself. But guess what? Diddy's attorneys, they're saying Diddy still doesn't have access to his laptop. So that's when this motion had to come in. This motion had to come in. I want to show it to you guys when it comes down to this quote-unquote motion. And this is credited, if you can see right here. Diddy's attorney filed this on the 4th. What day was that, ladies and gentlemen? That was Wednesday. And we're not going to read this long thing. I just wanted to show it to you guys. Okay? Now, with his attorneys, they're saying even after Judge Arun, this gentleman right here, Judge Arun, denied Diddy from getting a bond, but told the prosecutors, please give this man access to the laptop. He still does not have access. Now, we're going to break it down even more. The attorneys, Diddy's attorneys, noted that a laptop pre-approved for Diddy to review material and assist him for the case May the 5th of 2025. Okay? However, 9 days later, he has yet to receive access. They have accused, Diddy's team has accused, like I said, they have accused the prosecutors, they have accused the government of continuing to monitor his handwritten notes and cited the necessity of a secure laptop for his work. They request that Diddy is allowed to use this laptop in his unit because they're saying, I want to highlight this, they're saying Diddy is not being treated the same as the other inmates. And just like I stated, even after being given permission November the 25th, and that is what I was showing you guys when the Judge Arun made that decision. They said on November the 25th, by judge and government, Diddy is still not being provided the laptop. In this motion, they discussed how only on December the 4th, Wednesday, the same day they filed this motion, on December the 4th, the Metropolitan Detention Center officials there gave Diddy two options. They said, you got two options. He will only be provided the laptop in the units in the area of video and teleconference room during selected times of between 8 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. when legal staff is available and when the room is not used by other inmates for legal cause. The other option, Diddy will only be provided the laptop in the legal visiting room between 8 and 3 p.m. Those are the only two options. And they also told them that Diddy can only use either or. According to Diddy's team, they said Diddy is significantly limited to time available to use the laptop, and they're forcing him to choose between using the laptop and meeting with his attorneys. And according to his attorneys, they often meet with him. And this is sad. They often meet with him, according to his attorneys. They don't even come see him. They only meet with him over video teleconference. They don't even see him physically. And they say Diddy's laptop does not contain anything that could potentially risk the safety or privacy of alleged victims or witnesses. Why are they saying this? Because that's the reason Diddy's bail was denied. That's the reason Diddy's bail's been denied not one, not two, but 4 times, because they feel that he is what? He's a risk to society. So Diddy's team is trying to make it seem like, well, you guys don't have to worry about that. You guys don't have to worry about Diddy trying to reach out to a witness. And why? Why did they point that out? Because if you can remember what happened, and it was proven, Diddy has been a quote-unquote bad boy. He's been a quote-unquote bad boy since he's been locked up. He's been committing violations. He's been reaching out to witnesses. He's been reaching out to people since he's been locked up. He's been actually trying to talk to people paying inmates, okay, to use their phones. He's been doing all of this. So this is what was stated in the filing by prosecutors. And that is what Judge Arun used to make his decision to deny the bond for the fourth time. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. And I want people to understand this. When it comes down to Diddy, I want people to understand this. This is why I say you have to be careful how you treat people. Because Diddy could have easily, I'm just gonna put it out there. Diddy could have easily ended up like this guy that made headlines, Brian Thompson. And who's to say it won't happen to him? Locked up. Because you have a lot of people upset with Diddy. Now I don't know if they are as upset with Diddy as they were with this guy. Because this guy, I mean, you mess with somebody's family on an insurance level, you're really playing. You are really playing with not only that person, but you're playing with their family. Now, when it comes down to Diddy, and we got to be fair, when it comes down to Diddy, everybody has choices, right? Cassie had a choice to stay 10 years. She chose to stay 10 years, right? She chose to stay 10 years. But that didn't give him the right to do what he did in that video, did it? That didn't give him the right to do what he did in that video, right? That didn't give him the right to, okay, violently do what he did to Cassie. And it also didn't give him the right to lie about it. Didn't give him the right to lie about it. And now the tables have turned. The tables have turned, and he can't even get access to a laptop. He can't even get access to the laptop. And that's what his attorneys are begging for. They say Diddy cannot even get access to the laptop that the judge said he was supposed to use. That's what they said. But I want to play this. This person said it best. He said it best.
Make up your minds, guys.
He said it best. And this, I want people that know they have associated themselves with Diddy, that have affiliated themselves with Diddy, that have worked with Diddy. This goes out to all of you people. And yes, I'm going to say you people that have been doing business with Diddy over these years. This person, I couldn't have said it better. This person said it the best.
Make up your minds, guys. Make up your minds. What are you going to do? You're going to stay quiet or you're going to speak up? This guy is a menace to society. Make up your mind.
Now, I want you guys to understand. Diddy is not innocent in this. He's not. And thank you guys for the donation. I appreciate it so much. I think I think it's kind of freezing up. One moment, you guys. It's kind of freezing. Let me see. Hold on. I was trying to see the person. Thank you so much, E-Peasy. Thank you so much. But when it comes down to Diddy, I want people to understand you can't keep moving like you move and treat people how you treat people and think you're going to continue to get away with things. Because when you do that, I'm going to be honest, two things are going to happen. You're either going to end up like Diddy, locked up. Yes, I said it. Locked up. Or you're going to end up, unfortunately, like this person. Brian Thompson, who was attacked by an unnamed suspect in New York, Manhattan, New York, in front of the hotel, Hilton Hotel, off of 6th Avenue. Look it up, ladies and gentlemen. Can't make this up. Off of 6th Avenue in New York, Manhattan, New York, 6:44 a.m. in the morning, attacked. So much to the point, he's no longer here. He's no longer here, and the gentleman that did it, 5'10" in height, he's still on the loose and still on the run. And thank you guys for coming in. Trigger says, good. Amber says, why you think Ellen bounced out of the country? I am so glad, Ellen. I am so glad that we're going to mention Ellen, because Amber, now I know you must be new. And thank you for coming in, because I spoke on that. I spoke on that about Ellen DeGeneres. I spoke on it. Because when it comes down to Ellen DeGeneres, she's not the only one. Show you somebody else who hadn't said anything. Miss Jennifer Lopez. Miss I'm J-Lo from the block. Shout out to New York. She's another one that hadn't said anything. And Amber says, and to make y'all smile, Ellen DeGeneres' new house in England just flooded. Wow. Wow, Amber. Wow. Are you serious? Multi-million-dollar home in England? Relocated with your wife? And it flooded? Wow. Life says, how kids unalive due to coverage denied. Hop says, what should J-Lo say? J-Lo, I'm going to tell you what J-Lo needs to say. Oh, we got to take it there? We really want to take it there? You really want to know what she needs to say? Oh, should I take it there, ladies and gentlemen? Should I take it there? What should J-Lo say? Because J-Lo has a lot to say. She had a lot to say to tell people to vote for Kamala Harris. She had a lot to say as far as the rally goes for Kamala Harris. She had a lot to say then. So the question is, why she doesn't have anything to say now? That's the question. Why doesn't she have anything to say now? In one moment, you guys. Trying to get this situated. But J-Lo has a lot to say. And if you guys been following me, I spoke about Miss J-Lo from the blog. Because this picture right here that I'm showing you guys, okay, in 2000, this is the same incident that one of the accusers that are suing Diddy, let me be careful, that are suing Diddy, okay, and it's being represented on a civil lawsuit, okay, by this gentleman, Tony Busby. This gentleman. And according to this accuser, she said that she woke up on the bed because of what happened that night after the VMAs. Now, I don't want to get too much in detail with it this time. I might bring it back up. But if you've been following me, I've been on Diddy. And I've definitely been on Miss J-Lo. Because when it comes down to Miss Jennifer Lopez, I want people to understand this. Any woman or any man, if you witness something, if you witness somebody like Diddy or anybody doing something to another person and you don't say nothing, you are a facilitator. And you guys know that Diddy, okay, he has been doing bad business with a lot of people in the industry. Because even if J-Lo says, I'll say this, even if Miss Jennifer Lopez says, oh, well, I didn't see this, I didn't see that. I tell you one thing that you did see. You saw how he did his artist wrong. You saw how he did his musical artist wrong. And I will show this. Gotta talk about it. Because now Diddy's in the position, he has asked his attorneys, I gotta talk about it. Now he's in the position, he has asked his attorneys to get his laptop. That's what he said. He said he wants his laptop. That's what he said. Remember him? Shine? He did Shine wrong. According to Shine the rapper, former rapper, he said Diddy throwed him under the bus, caused him to have to leave America and go back to Belize and do 10 years in prison. He was deported. He was deported. So, of course, you're absolutely right. Jennifer Lopez has a lot to say. Oh, yes, I forgot. Shine, he was there the same night, okay, as Jennifer Lopez, as Diddy. When Diddy throwed him under the bus, Diddy said, his attorney said, that Shine was the one that had the pop and hit the lady in the you-know-what with the pop. Northern Dame, hello, Northern Dame. Thank you for coming up. Northern Dame says, allegedly, I don't know. Now, Northern Dame, thank you for coming in. Now, I have to say this. Now, this is YouTube guidelines, so, right? So, if you hear me say allegedly, this for YouTube guidelines, right? Cannon says, Kendall with no internet capability, maybe. Kendall. And see, this is the position that Diddy is in right now. This is the position that he's in right now. He's in the position now where Wednesday, his attorneys, I call them the quote-unquote dream team. Oh, I'm not done with talking about this guy. I'm not done with talking about him. Because according to his dream team, they said Diddy is not being treated fairly. Oh, allegedly. Northern says, I know that politic, but you omitted allegedly. Thank you for letting me know that allegedly. Now, when it comes down to Jennifer Lopez, let me go back. Right? I want to go back and show this, because everything that I'm speaking of in regards to Diddy, I want to make sure when it comes down to Jennifer Lopez, the quote-unquote mugshot don't lie. When it came down to the incident that transpired at the club where Shine took the fall. He didn't want to take the fall. But what Jennifer Lopez, I want to say this. I want her to speak up. Speak up. Because at this point, she's not in the wrong. She won't be in the wrong, okay, for somebody that did this. for somebody that did this. And I'm going to show it. I want her to speak up for people. And I know people will say you have to speak up for yourself, right? You have to speak up for yourself when it comes down to Cassie. When it comes down to Cassie. Because just like I stated, Cassie was with Diddy almost 10 years. Almost 10 years. And as soon as this video got released, this is when Jennifer Lopez should have said something. When that video got released, this is when Jennifer Lopez should have said something. Because now there's no reason to be scared. But I don't know. Maybe Diddy did a lot for her. Because you do have a lot of people in the music industry, even now, feel like they owe Diddy. Feel like if they do say something, something will happen. So maybe she feels, had it not been for Diddy, she wouldn't be almost worth what she's worth now. I think she's almost worth $1 billion. She's worth a lot of money. Because when she was seeing Diddy in the year 2000, she was still kind of up and coming when it came down to this too, as far as in the music side of it. Right? So I thank you for that, Northern Dame. Allegedly. Thank you so much, Northern Dame. Allegedly. Now, back to this filing. This is not allegedly. This is actual real filing. Okay? When it comes down to Diddy's team, they are asking for Diddy to use his laptop, him to have access to use his laptop anytime when he needs it, because he needs it to prepare for his federal case May the 5th. Now, I'm going to read a little bit of what basically his attorneys have been saying. Okay, with this filing. And thank you guys for coming in. Amber says, too many bigger power players than just celebrities. I highly doubt that this or him would make it to trial. Celebrities are good distractions. Now, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that, because all while this been going on, and hello, Archie, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Archie. All while this been going on, now how does Trump come into this? Yes. Trump is in this. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Who is this? This is the new lead prosecutor on this trial. Why? Because Damian Williams, he had to resign. Right? He had to resign. Why did he have to resign? Because Donald Trump nominated a replacement by the name of Jay Clayton. Okay? Now, this particular lady, her name is Maureen. This particular lady, her name is Maureen Comey. How does she come into connections with this? Because her father, wait a minute now. Her father, James Comey, he worked for Donald Trump. He was the former FBI director that Donald Trump hired his first term. But her father, James Comey, Trump terminated him. Why? Why did he terminate him? See, that's why I say it's all a game. It's everybody knows everybody. See, this is when you get so much power. When you get so much power, it's bigger than, like, Diddy is bigger than Diddy. Right? It's bigger than Diddy. Because now you have Donald Trump's former FBI director's daughter coming in as the lead prosecutor of this trial. And her father, tell you why, he ended up, I'm just going to read it. Her father was criticized in 2016 for his handling of the FBI's investigation on Hillary Clinton. This is who we have as the new one of the prosecutors on the Diddy trial. This lady right here. Now, I think she, with her, I'm not going to lie, when I looked her up, she's not playing no games. She's not playing, this lady right here, she's not playing no games. I'm going to say it again. This lady right here, no, she's not playing no games. I'll say this, her father taught her well because she was also in connection with Jeffrey Epstein. Okay? She was the lead prosecutor in the trafficking case against Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice, Miss Maxwell. That's why I say she's not playing no games, because when it comes down to Miss Maxwell, who was the accomplice in the Jeffrey Epstein case, okay? She was found guilty. She is a convicted offender. And thank you guys for coming in. Yes, I'm going to go back and read. Yes, Dwayne, thank you for coming in. I'm very passionate. I am very, very passionate. Thank you for coming in, Dwayne. Thank you for coming in. I decided, Tanner says, yes, like the video. Double tap the screen. It's easy. Yes. Archie says, yes, tell him, Tanner. Yes. Now, with Miss Maxwell, who was convicted as an offender by the current new prosecutor for the Diddy trial, because she put in a filing Monday. She filed a notice at the United States District Court in Southern District of New York, December the 2nd, Monday. A document obtained stating that she will be joining the leading team. Amber says, maybe because Trump is calling for the penalty of human traffickers. Whoa, Amber. Woo. So this is my question. I really was thinking about this. Do you guys think that Diddy will help Diddy or hurt Diddy? Because it's kind of odd at this point. Diddy's in a bond as is, okay? But it's kind of odd that Trump is nominated a replacement, right? He nominated a replacement to specifically deal with being the district attorney for the Southern District of New York. The prosecutor, federal prosecutor. Man, apologies, I have to correct myself. But it's kind of odd that he gets a replacement, right? And then not only that, she comes in, and she is the daughter of the former FBI director that Trump hired back in 2016. And Cannon says, have to keep them alive long enough to identify all the players. Art of War says, good morning, everybody. Thank you for liking the live stream to support the news lady. Yes, thank you so much. Now, when it comes down to Miss Maureen Comey, like I stated, she was the lead prosecutor into this trial, Miss Maxwell. Okay? And she ended up getting this lady convicted as a S offender. She was found guilty on child S. Okay, you know what? I can't get into all of that. And she was sentenced in federal court in New York City for 20 years. 20 years. Amanda says, I am so proud of you. You are studying and putting in all the work. Yes, I'm trying. Thank you so much, Amanda. Jacob says, I love you. Thank you so much. All love. Thank you. I appreciate it so much, you guys. I appreciate it. Now, I want people to understand when it comes down to what's been going on, all of this. Oh, we're not done. We're not done. What's been going on with Diddy? Diddy has put himself in a position where things, it seems to me, outside looking in, I could be wrong. Amber J says, and our beautiful cast paddle is hard on declassifying the Epstein list. Woo, Amber. Now, I will say this. This is why I am very kind of worried a little bit about what's to come for all these nominations that Donald Trump has picked for his new administration, because there are a lot of things going on, right? A lot of things going on. And one of the issues that has been coming up, okay, into the light, one of the things that has been coming up I want to actually speak on, because they're still hounding this person, is this gentleman. They're still hounding this gentleman. Still bothering him. And he is begging. He's talking to senators now. He's having meetings up. He's having press conference. He even spoke to the media yesterday. And if you guys can remember his stance on women in combat, he said we should not have women in combat. And yesterday I spoke to somebody, okay, I don't see them in this live today. I spoke to somebody in regards to, because they asked me, and I said I want to show them a woman that has been in combat, right? I wanted to show them that. I wanted to show them the woman that's been in quote unquote combat. But before I show that, I'm going to go and show a clip. Go back and show the clip of what Hegseth said. Tana says, yes, this takes more work than I would be willing to do. Thank you for your service, your research, and entertainment. Guys, you could like the video to show appreciation. Thanks so much for helping. Yes, please. Yes, everything that you see, I have put together. I have put in the time. And all I ask is either like, share, subscribe. Please subscribe. Please like. Please please put in the comments your opinion, your views. And if you feel like you want to support even more, you can even donate a super sticker or even become a member. Because everything that you see here, this is everything that I have put together. This is everything that I do, and I do it just because this is a platform where we have freedom of expression respectfully, right? Now, speaking of respectfully, I wanted to show the clip. I got to do it. I got to do it. Jennifer says, I have a long list of reasons why women shouldn't be in the military. Uh-oh. Why? Because what they do when things get real. I don't like hearing what happens. Usually it's a man that takes her place. Now, that is a heavy, this was a heavy topic that we was talking about, and that is why I wanted you guys to meet someone that I'm going to introduce you to you guys to did my research. But before I get into that, I want to actually show Jennifer, this person, Pete Hegseth, he's stating, that's basically what he was stating, how, okay, women shouldn't be in combat, but they should be in other areas in the military, or they should make positions for women in the military. Okay? So that is his stance. That is his stance. And I'm going to show a clip. I'm going to show a clip of Hegseth saying this. And thank you guys for coming in. Okay? I'm going to show a clip of where he exactly said this.
Admission standards, overall standards. I think a huge one is women in combat and quotas. I think the way they pushed that under Obama in a way that had nothing, zero to do with efficacy, zero to do with lethality and capability.
You don't like women in combat?
No.
Why not?
I love women service members who contribute amazingly.
Now, that was one clip. But before I play that next clip, I want people to understand the person that we're talking about, okay? Donald Trump has nominated him. Donald Trump has nominated him for Secretary of Defense. But I want to show somebody that I feel I could be wrong. I want you guys to just be honest. Tell me what you think. Tanner says, I'm going to get it back into the comments. Sorry about that, you guys. Thank you for coming in. I want to keep up the comments. Amanda says, a lot of women seem more masculine than these soft boys. Woo, Amanda. Tanner says, there are roles that women can do better than men, even in the military. Not all people are the same. There are some women warriors out there that would scare some men I know. Jennifer says, I lived that life 19 years. Wow. I'm all for women's rights, but men can't get pregnant, and that changes so many orders in combat. They get sent home. No one is sent to replace her. Dana says we should not have women in combat. And thank you, Dana, for coming in. I'm glad that you coming in. Now, like I stated, Pete has made a lot of people uncomfortable. A lot of people not happy, not comfortable, and not happy. And I'm going to play. Amanda says, thank you for your service. Yes, Jennifer. Jennifer, I didn't even know that. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you so much. And I'm going to, I appreciate that. You know, because like I said, that's why I wanted to make sure we talk about things like this, because I don't want, see, this is why I'm speaking on this, because I don't want people to feel like, okay, this is just for men. I don't want people to feel like, you know, not included, because you kind of have to be careful when you say certain things. And when it comes down to women not being in combat, okay, I can understand that, right? I can understand the reasons on why people say what they say. But people have to also understand, right? You have women, like Jennifer said, I lived that life 19 years. I'm all for women's right, but men can't get pregnant. And that changes so many orders. In combat, they get sent home. No one is sent to replace her. So that is why I want people to actually sit back and understand things when it comes down to, you have to look at the whole spectrum. You have to look at it. Now, is combat for everybody? No, it's not. Combat is not for everybody. As a matter of fact, other areas are not for everybody in the military, right? I'll agree with that. I'll grant that. But you can't speak for everybody at the same time, because all men are not the same. All women are not the same, right? They're not. And I spoke about it last live. I hinted on it a little bit about this gentleman right here, Ron DeSantis. But I also showed you how the numbers are looking for women anyway in the military. They're already small. Overall, according to the year 2022, only 19.7% of women are in the military. Anyway, so when you say certain things, when I say you, I mean Pete Hegseth, when he says certain things, the question is, if you say women don't need to be in combat, now we're going to have another conversation. Right? Now, going back, I want to make sure we're on the same page. I'm going to show one more clip from this particular interview that Pete Hegseth did. This guy that Pete Hegseth did. I'm going to show one more clip before I show you an actual lady. Yes, an actual lady. And yes, once again, thank you for your service, Jennifer. And thank you for anybody that's in this live that has served our country. And if nobody says it, I thank you. And also, I thank anybody that is not only a veteran, that is also a current member in the military, that is also, even if you're in the reserve, I thank you. Thank you for your services. Thank you. Right? Now, one more clip I'm going to show in regards to Pete Hegseth. Okay? Okay, one more clip, but let me make sure I'm on the right one before I get there. Let me make sure I'm on the right one. I want to make sure I'm on it. And thank you guys for coming in. This is fair use.
Point for total institutional corruption. And Trump has a chance to reverse that when he wins. Because what the military did, I didn't finish the thought on that, is they committed a Bud Light. Like in search of a non-traditional constituency, they offended their core constituency. So there aren't enough lesbians in San Francisco to man the 82nd Airborne. Uh-huh. And in trying to cater to that.
Now, I had to put a pause on it. Notice where he's going with this conversation. Notice where this gentleman is going with this conversation. Okay? He's stating that the standards have gotten low because the government wanted to integrate the military more. Integrate the military more so, not only for having more, trying to bring in more women, but also integrating LGBTQIA plus community. And he said because of that, they have lowered their standards by allowing people, more people in roles that he says they don't deserve. That is what he's saying. Now, I want to show you guys a lady. And her name is Janet. Okay? I want to actually show this lady to you because she has made history. And she is one that she said, I want you guys to remember this. And shout out to all the members of the military. This goes out to all the members of the military when she said this quote, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's one thing, I respect when she said this, right? Because when you're in the military, it is supposed to teach you what? Discipline, self-control, learning to be comfortable in uncomfortable moments. Right? So the person that I'm going to show you guys, okay? And thank you guys for coming in. The person that I'm going to show you, as soon as I get her, let me get her. Her name is Janet. And she is in the military. She's currently in the military. And this is her. Captain Janet H. Days. Okay? And with this particular woman, she is the first Black woman named commanding officer of Naval Station, okay, in Norfolk, Virginia, the largest naval base in the world. And the naval base that she is the commanding officer, it holds 56,000 military personnel, 63 ships and submarines, 18 squadrons. We got to be honest. Let's talk about it. And over 1,150 ship movements per year. This is Captain Janet H. Days. And she did an interview recently. I wanted to actually show some clips, okay, about her. And thank you guys for coming in. She compares the naval base as being a mayor, okay? And sorry for the typo. Let me make sure I fix that. Mayor, that's what she compared it to. And she was inspired by her dad, who was a single father, who was also in the military. Now, with Captain Days, she said how, and excuse the typo, she said how she comes from very, very humble beginnings. Because her father was in the military, specifically in the Army, her and her 3 siblings had to be put into foster care temporarily because he had to be deployed to Vietnam. This is what we call, and I want to make sure we're on the same page. This is what we call, when she stated, and I quote, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Right? Because she was in foster care with her 3 siblings because her father had to serve our country and be deployed to Vietnam. And she said that is what motivated her to get into the military. So see, I want people to understand this. You know, I have the utmost respect for people in the military. And I also have the utmost respect for first responders. And I also have the utmost respect for teachers. Because when you do roles like that, and last but not least, parents. Because when you do roles like this, you have to do roles like this that money cannot buy. And it comes with sacrifice. Because people like Captain Janet Days, people like Jennifer in the live, you make sacrifices. Now, with Captain Janet Days, okay, she has a bachelor's degree. Bachelor's degree in business, master's in business administration. She received her commission through naval ROTC via the enlisted commissioning program. She graduated Old Dominion University in 1999 to get her bachelor's in science in business. And the reason I'm talking about her is because of what this person spoke about. He said, we should not have women in combat. That's what he said. Now, I'm going to play a clip of Captain Janet H. Days. Okay? Just to kind of give you some type of, a little bit of highlight of her. Okay? Just a little bit. To kind of wake you up and, of who she is. Who she is. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit the like button. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm going to play a little bit, just a little bit for you guys of Captain Janet Days. Just a little bit.
Destroyer Squadron and aboard USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, where you did 2 tours for Operation Enduring Freedom, including a deployment to Afghanistan. I served on board destroyers. That would have been unheard of back in the early 90s because these ships, they go to combat. Today, 30
She said these ships go to combat.
years later, women serve in multitude of capacities in the Navy.
Multiple capacities in the Navy. Now I'm going to fast forward and show you the last thing she said for advice for women going into roles where it's mostly men. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much.
On the front row. Don't sit in the back row. Have your questions. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because oftentimes you're going to be uncomfortable. If that is your passion, stick with it. Have a voice. Be bold. And don't stop. Wow,
Now, that is Captain Janet days. That is Captain Janet Days. And I wanted to make sure I highlighted and spoke of this because women don't get enough respect. And I'm not trying, like I said, yes, some women do not need to be in combat, but you can't speak for everybody. You can't speak for everybody because, like I stated, when it comes down to Captain Janet H. Days, she comes from very humble beginnings. Her father had to make the sacrifice of putting her and her siblings temporarily in foster care to serve his country. To serve his country in the army when he had to get deployed where? To Vietnam. So I have to be honest and I have to talk about it. And thank you guys for coming. I'm going to go back into the comments now. Amanda says, I'm not offended. Men and women have different roles. Jennifer says, my husband was married to him. I was married to him. He got service related cancer and passed January 2023. My condolences, Jennifer. He did 20 plus 10 years doing the same job. I was an ombudsman for forward deployed Navy. And 7 Impus, thank you for coming in. Tanner says, right. 7 says, the only way I would fight for this country is if people were trying to come to this country and take over. But I'm not going to be shipped thousands of miles away to fight on somebody else's land. And see, this is why I said, this is what you call sacrifice. Right? Because a lot of people wouldn't do it. 7 in the comment just said it. They wouldn't do it. 7 says, so-called democracy, remember we are republic. Tanner says, women Marines are definitely built different. Yes, definitely. Candace says, we could get marijuana out the week, both male and female, 50 years ago in boot camp. Cannot do that now. Tanner says, I agree, Cannon. Matt says, do you want women to be precisely 50-50? No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't. See, my thing is this. I just want women to be treated, as don't put, how can I say this? Don't put women in the box of, well, let's make them a role in military because there's no role for women. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair because just like I showed yesterday, women already make up 19% back in 2020, 19.7% in the military altogether. Right? So my whole thing is, when it comes down to what Pete Hegseth said, I can't go all the way with what he was saying because it came off too harsh. It came off too harsh considering the shoes that he's in right now. Because we could say, I'm just being honest, people could say Pete Hegseth does not meet the mark to be Secretary of Defense. People could say that, right? People could say how he feels about women not being in combat. One would say Pete Hegseth does not meet the mark to be Secretary of Defense. Maybe he needs to be serving service for Fox News. Stay in the Fox News world. But is that fair to say? No. That's why you have House of Senate to vote. That's why you have the president to nominate. Right? That's why you have key entities to say, hey, Pete Hegseth does make a great choice. And I'm saying, hey, Captain Janet Days does make a great choice to be commanding officer of naval station. I can say that. I can say that. Here's her, just a little bit of her background. So to answer your question, Matt, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. To answer your question, when you say, do you want women to be precisely 50-50? I'm just saying, be respectful and equal. Equal in the sense of, don't make it seem as if the roles for women are so, women cannot do enough. Women, it's like, there's only little that women can do in the military, so much to the point we have to put them in small roles or make roles for them. That's not fair. That's not fair. It's not. Now, I'm not saying all women should be in the combat. No. I'm not saying that. But I'm not saying no women should be in combat. I can't say that because you just saw the clip that I showed when it came down to Captain Janet Days. She said 30 years ago, this is how long this lady's been dealing in the military. Over 30 years. She said 30 years ago, I was in combat. She said, I was in combat. And then even now, she is in a position where she has to be over how many personnel? 56,000 military personnel. I guarantee you. Watch this. I guarantee you. And I'm not being funny when I say this. But I guarantee you. He doesn't have 56,000 people to look at, to deal with. I guarantee you he doesn't have 56,000 personnel to look over. I guarantee you he doesn't have to worry about 1,150 ship movements per year. I guarantee you that. I guarantee it. So, like I stated, even for the role that he's going for, that Donald Trump nominated him to be in, right? It's a lot of people that can say, well, he's not in for, he doesn't meet the mark. I just showed you somebody that has way more experience in the military. And they're not even a man. They're not even a man. I just showed you a captain that's made history. I just showed it to you. Now, like I stated, people have their decisions, right? The military, I do believe, nothing is perfect. No areas are perfect, right? But I'm not going to sit here and say this. I don't want to say this. It's not fair. It's not fair for the women that are currently in the military, that are veterans of the military, right? That have been in combat. It's not fair. Because when you say something like this, you have immediately disregarded every woman that has been in combat. Disregarded every woman. And I don't want to make it a quote unquote, as they say, because I wanted to actually show, and I showed this. It's more than one person. Right? So when you say certain things like this, that's not fair. It's not. And thank you guys for coming in. And the person that I wanted to actually show, some people don't like it. Some people don't like it. But I showed her. So now it's two people. You have Captain Janet H. Days, who's the first black woman named commanding officer of Naval Station, Norfolk, Virginia, the largest naval base in the world. You have her as an example, who served in combat. Right now, she has to command the naval base that hosts 56,000 military personnel. She has to worry about, are they coming home? She has to worry about them. She has to make sure. See, these are responsibilities, I guarantee you. I guarantee you, this person has never even worried about. Now, has it been over a battalion? Yes, I will say that. Yes. But not to the point where you literally have 56,000 people in your hands and their lives depend on you when it comes down to making decisions. No. Not by a long shot. I'm sorry. And thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to read the comments now. I just wanted to just be fair. I want to be fair as far as on the men's side, as far as on the side where people say, okay, well, there should not be no women in combat. Then I also want to be fair on the women's side, okay, for those that have been in combat, such as Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, such as Janet H. Days. Both of these women been in combat. Both of them. And people can say what they want to say about her, but like I said, I have respect for anybody that's been in the military, anybody that's a veteran, and I'm standing on that. Now, people can have their views about her as far as politics go. Hey, that's fair game. If you don't agree with how she stands as far as policies go, and you don't agree that Donald Trump nominated her for the position to be Director of National Intelligence, hey, it's all fair game. But what I can say, I do respect the fact that she was in the military and her service that she sacrificed for us. Right? I can respect that. That's fair game. Now, I'm going to go back into the comments. Amanda says, Candace says, you are welcome. Amanda says, DeSantis did amazing work on the last two storms. I was very impressed on how organized he was. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because he is one that they're stating that Donald Trump might replace Pete with. They're stating that Ron, let me go make sure. They're stating that he might replace him. That Ron DeSantis might replace Pete. Might replace him. Now, when it comes down to Pete, because of all of the allegations that's been coming up, right? He had to finally address them. Hey. He had to finally address them. And he did that in a recent interview yesterday. He finally met with the press. And when he met with the press, he gave a special shout out to Megyn Kelly because he did an interview with Megyn Kelly. Right? But he wanted to make sure he gave her a special shout out. Notice what I said. Now, the particular, when it comes down to Pete Hegseth's response to all these allegations, and we spoke about it, I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want people to get mad at me. When it comes down to his personalness, I might talk about it tomorrow. I might talk about it on a Saturday. But when it came down to all these allegations that have been coming up on Pete, this is why people are wanting Ron DeSantis, and there have been speculations that Donald Trump is possibly reconsidering Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense. Because with Ron DeSantis, he's been in the military. This is him in 2004. Right? He's been in the Navy. Okay, so he's been on tour. He has been, just like they say Pete is he has the qualifications. Okay, we're gonna say Ron has more qualifications. Now I want people to understand this, because I have been getting a lot of kickback when I speak on this. But I want people to understand this. This is Donald Trump nominating these people, okay? So you can't say, oh, well, they need to pick this person. Once again, this is Donald Trump nominating these people. And once again, this is the House of Senate that is ran by what? Republican now. They have to approve of these people. I'm just being honest. So if I had to make a pick, and I only had two choices, and the only two choices were either Ron DeSantis or Pete Hegseth, you already know who I'm picking. You already know who I'm picking. Okay? Because I'm not gonna stand and nominate somebody for Secretary of Defense when they have already told you what they're going to do for the women. They've already told you what they're going to do for the women. They say they need to make a role for the women in military. Well, if she wants to be a pilot, she can fly a plane. She can fly a plane. She can do that. Oh, speaking of that, flying a plane. Flying a plane. Oh, okay. So now we're talking about Air Force. Now we're talking about Air Force. Oh, okay. Because if you guys can remember, Air Force, 23.4% as of 2022. And the margins, I'm going to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, 2024, it's not that big of a difference. It's not that big of a difference. There are not a lot of women in the military as is. It's not. It's not. And all I'm saying is just like Donald Trump was fair, he was fair in nominating Pete Hegseth. Can you kind of give the women a little bit more validation than just say, well, she can fly a plane? Well, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And it's no disrespect. Because it's just, you have to be careful how you say certain things. And yes, men are made different. Yes, men are biologically made different than women. Yes, men are biologically stronger. Biologically stronger. Some anyway. Some. Right? So, now with Pete Hegseth, he did do a clip. He did want to respond. And I gotta just be honest, what he said, it was a little bit of a whoa moment. Not a woke moment, just a whoa moment. Just a whoa moment. His response to all these allegations that's been coming about. And I want to actually show it. His response. Give me one moment, you guys. This was his response. This was his response, and this is fair use. And the lady that you see right here, this is his current wife, Jennifer, his third wife, standing by his side at the most recent press conference where he met and spoke to the reporters. And this is what he had to say. And I want to make sure I hit the key parts. This was his response in regards to the alcohol. In regards to the allegations amongst about the alcohol, his usage, okay? Allegedly.
Prince Joni Ernst. Oh, we've had great conversations about who I am and what I believe, and frankly, the man I am today, because of my faith in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and my incredible wife, Jenny, right here. I'm a different man than I was years ago.
Now, that was his response. He didn't want to get into it. He said, "My Lord Savior Christ, I'm not the same person as I was years ago." And he mentioned how veterans, you know, he have met and he have talked to veterans who feel the same, right? And this was his comment in regards to who he has to answer to. Who he has to answer to. Right?
One bit, I will answer all of these senators' questions, but this will not be a process tried in the media. I don't answer to anyone in this group. None of you, not to that camera at all. I answer to President Trump, who received 76 million votes on behalf and a mandate for change. I answer to the 100 senators who are part of this process and those.
Now, with him, Pete is basically saying, the heck with these people. The heck with us people. The heck with it. Okay? Now what he's saying, the heck with it all, with the media. Now he almost had me. But what I thought, and you guys tell me in the comments, okay, when the live ends, you put in the comments. What I thought, if you believe in the Bible, if you are religious, if you are into what he says, Lord and Savior, right? The first person that you call on is not Donald Trump. The first person that you answer to is not the Senate and Donald Trump. The first person that you answer to is what? Your Lord and Savior. Your Lord and Savior, then your family, your wife. It's not supposed to be the other way around. This is if you're religious. This is if you're into the Christianity. But according to him, he said, I don't answer to the media. I don't answer to the media. I answer to first Donald Trump. Then I answer to the Senate. Then I answer to my wife, my Lord and Savior. This is the energy that he gave. And me personally, I think with Pete Hegseth, and this is one thing that we learn, we as human, right? And I'm learning this now. I'm still learning this. You can't be worried about what people think of you and how people feel about you. Because if you do, you will always fail. And I think with Pete Hegseth at this point, I think he needs to continue to have the meetings with the Senate, right? Continue to move forward, right? He has his wife beside him. She's not going nowhere. Jennifer's not going nowhere. But I think when he finally spoke to the reporters and said, I don't answer to you guys. I don't answer to you guys. I think he should just, what they say, what do they say? This is just the religious world. Peace be still. Continue to move forward. Talk to these people. Mike Johnson, who's the House Speaker, right? Mike Johnson, this guy. Okay. Continue to talk to Mike Johnson. Continue to talk to the people that are going to make the vote. Because the comments that he gave out, my personal view and opinion, I think it did more harm than good. Because it made him seem what is coming out with all these allegations, right? It's making it seem that he is narcissist. He doesn't care about nobody but himself. And he will only, in his word, answer to Donald Trump. That's what he said. That's why I said at this point, he needs to just not say anything to the media. Right? Because the media are already going to feel how they feel anyway. They are. They're going to feel how they feel anyway. So that is what I think in regards to Pete Hegseth. And I want to say this. If Donald Trump, I want to be honest, if Donald Trump can make it through all the things that he's made it through, and his son says, Eric Trump said, my dad doesn't have 9 lives. But if Donald Trump can make it through all of this, okay, if he can make it through all of this, when it comes down to these quote-unquote attempts by this gentleman, he's one of them. He was one of them. This gentleman, he was one of them. Right? If Donald Trump can make it through this, right? I'm sure Pete can just, in the words as they say, peace be still. You don't need to talk to the media anymore. Just continue doing what you've been doing. But like I stated, I already said where I stand on when it comes down, should women be in the combat, right? And why I said what I said. Because I don't want to disrespect anybody that is currently in military, that has served combat. I don't want to disrespect anybody. And I definitely don't want to disrespect this lady. And that is why I had the motivation today as far as I'm going to go up. That's why I had the motivational quote for today. It was 2 quotes. But one of them was what Captain Janet Days stated. And highlighted. Be comfortable of the uncomfortable. Be comfortable of the uncomfortable. And I thank you guys for coming in because, you know, I want people to understand when it comes down to myself, I started this platform to talk about the uncomfortable. And that is politics. That is views that people are not comfortable talking about in public. Be comfortable of the uncomfortable. Right? The next quote that I had for today is life is lived forward once, but look back many times. You can always look back at your past, but you can only look forward once because you don't know where you'll go. You don't know where you will go in the future. You don't. You can only live in the present. But everything that you have done in the past, you can look back. Oh, I did this. I did that. I did this. But you only have one life. Right? And that's why, you know, I wanted to make sure I spoke about the incidents that happened today. I hope they find this gentleman. Okay, and like I stated, there is a $10,000 reward out for this gentleman that unalived the CEO. Okay, Brian Thompson. Right? And let me go back into the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. Hello, OG Brand. OG Brand says, politic, you silly rabbit. Jennifer says, I was a spouse, so I was married to the military. And I raised a son who became a Marine. Wow. Jennifer, you're just coming out. Oh, good. Jennifer, I wish I could hug you. I wish I could hug you, Jennifer. Oh, my goodness, I wish I could hug you. I wish I could hug you. Shout out to you, Jennifer. Matt says he's right. So you believe in Pete Hegseth. No woman should be in the military. Look, I'm not going to look. I respect all opinions on this platform, right? And I thank you for stating your voice. I respect all opinions. OG Brand says, hey, everyone, you silly rabbit. If you happy and you know it, then clap your hands. OG Brand says, I like to eat apples and bananas. Tanner says, he's right. Sorry, not sorry. I'm for women's rights, but some things are what they are, and it's not personal. That's fair. That's fair. OG Brand says, politics, speak it, mommy. Cannon says, 4-striper is impressive. Yes. Yes. Jennifer says, I agree because he lived it. The ship was 210 men on it. 3 officers, female, got a bathroom for themselves. And the rest of the men shared 4 stalls. One graduated college with majoring in volleyball. Wow. Matt says, I'm trying to hear any factual message you're trying to say. I'm just hearing a lot. Oh my goodness, Matt, I apologize. I'm trying. Everything that you see right here, this is things that I have actually took the time and did my research, Matt. Okay. Now, Tanner says, if I was, let me go back. Matt says, a mayor is an administrative position, as is a base commander. Oh boy. Woo. Look, man, you schooling me. Okay, look. I'm taking notes, man. Look. Oh, thank you. Tanner says, if I was her, I would be suspicious as to why they put me in this position. Is it to save face or is it to be politically correct? Honestly, I'd probably turn it down due to all the scrutiny she's probably has. Woo. Amber says both genders play critical roles, but most men are natural protectors. So if a female is being hit, or God forbid, the man will run to save, and that could put more in jeopardy. Jennifer says, I was honored that the fourth female officer came aboard as she heard nothing but good about me. I'm prideful of being called. No, if that's all they can say, make up on me, I'm doing good. And thank you, Jennifer, like I said, for your services. Again, Candace says, combat happens in Norfolk. We are F's already. Tanner says, Amber, you're very right. That's what I would do. And I know it's what men think. I would help the female over the male first just because of those primal instincts. Jennifer says, combat not all the military. Combat is dodging pop-pops and breathing bad air. Most combat they are talking about is actually on the ground stuff, not at sea. Cannon says 1975 to 1996, I just missed her. What? And thank you for your service, Cannon. Thank you for your service. The man, thank you for coming in. The man says, as an Iraq combat veteran, thank you for your service. I can reassure you women do zero for the military as far as benefits go. The lower all standards. Whoa, man, you coming in heavy, aren't you? Candace says, best nurses were female in my day. And hello, Cuban. Cuban says, women cannot be used in combat arms. Ryan says he doesn't want women in combat units. The legend says, can you name one thing women bring to the military that men don't already bring? Woo-wee. I feel the heat. And thank you for your comments. I'm going to pin it. Can I pin it? I'm going to pin it. The man, the legend says, and I quote, can you name one thing women bring to the military that men don't already bring? Ooh. Cuban says, Pete for the, wait a minute. Now, Cannon says medical units in combat areas if they choose. Jennifer says, just combat. There are thousands of jobs they can do when the orders are served. Military is harsh. Pete is probably the first guy who was in actual military in years to get this job. And thank you guys for, that's why I wanted to, have this conversation, because for me, I'm going to be honest, this helps me learn things, right? And this also, we are talking about, different things. The man, the legend says, I want because he looks like me and my kids. Wait a minute, the legend. Sometimes the truth isn't fair. Nate says, if men have to sign for draft, women should too. Equal rights. Amber says, the man, it's not a, you know what, measuring the it's not a, you know what, measuring contest. Spunky, thanks for coming in. Spunky says, God bless Hegseth. Jennifer says, Pete is saying that for a reason. And usually it's something that they went through to get to that opinion. Combat is used for many different manners. When I think of combat, it's not Bahrain or Japan. The legend says Pete was a higher rank than your captain, just for your information. Woo! The legend. Now I just want to ask a question. This is a serious question. Okay, in your opinion, like, do you feel, because we got to be honest, Donald Trump, he has been known to replace people real fast, just as fast as he nominates and the Senate signs them and approves and he brings them in, they're officially appointed into their position. Donald Trump is known to replace them real fast and terminate them real fast. Do you feel Pete will hold on to the position of Secretary of Defense for the next 4 years? Just be honest. Cuban says women in combat has declined the minimum standards for male soldiers. Ryan, thanks for coming in, Ryan. Ryan says they bring distractions in combat. Imagine having your unit cover up for females. Oh my. Imagine having your unit cover up for females. Jennifer says it's actual boots on ground in war. Combat at sea is very different than in the actual. Candace says it will all come out in the wash. Hopefully we never have another wash. Garrett says it's not fair for the rest of the country and especially the soldiers to include women. Thank you for coming in, Garrett. Cuba says women cannot be used for combat arms. Craig, I'm very passionate. Thank you for coming in. Joy says very good comments on the subject. Yes, Joy, that's why, see, this is why I like talking about this. And you know what? The man, the legend, that's why I appreciate when people like you guys come in here, right? This is a topic that I like to talk about. I like talking about topics like this. Move this out the way. I like talking about topics like this. I do. And United says all lies. Not your choice to make, President Trump. Not your choice to make. President Trump is our leader. When did this become? You can have an opinion. That's great and wonderful. But all the stuff about this man is a lie. Now, I would say this, okay? This is a platform that welcomes all, and we talk about the uncomfortable, right? We talk about the uncomfortable, and we welcome everybody, right? As long as it is respectful, right? So thank you for coming in, United We Stand. And that is why I talk about things like this, so we can talk about the uncomfortable, so we can stay united. Because that's one of the problems that we have here. We have to work on. We have to be united. We cannot keep, being frustrated and angry. We have to get united and come to real resolutions that will help people here in America, help people around the world, right? But thank you for coming in, United We Stand. And yes, United We do stand. Chris says, why would women want to risk their lives in active combat? Well, thank you for coming in, Chris. Right? I'm going to read it again. Chris says, why would women want to risk their lives in active combat? Jennifer says, there's a lot not fair with the military of war, but combat needs to be defined and used so we understand completely what they are meaning. Cresaw says Hegseth is the correct person for the job. And see, Cresaw, they said media is stating this. Now, this is why I feel what I said. Pete Hegseth need to just ignore the reports. Just continue having these meetings with the Senate. Continue having these talks, right? Because you guys said it best. They're the ones that are going to make the vote. Chris says women can be in combat, but standards shouldn't be lowered to include them. They should be expected to pass the standards and carry the same weight. I agree with that, Chris. I will agree with that in our opinion. I'll agree with that. Jennifer says Tulsi is in intelligence. When you are an officer and intel, her job more specifically in a room away from the fighting. Being on watch is when direct danger affects her. Even our allies have unalived. Jennifer says our military people. Candace says Hegseth was only. Hegseth says. Candace says Hegseth was only 04 Navy captain. And what, 06 is 06? Am I saying it right? I know I'm not saying it right. Andrea says DeSantis is deep state. Do your homework on him. Woo! Andrea, thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. I don't think you know where I live, though. I appreciate it, though. It's much respect to you, Andrea. Thank you for coming in, though. Amber says, combat like live, active conflict areas. There are lots of great women in the military. I just don't think men want to see women get popped or unalived or worse in front of them. Andrea says he didn't nominate Ron. Oh, my goodness. Andrea, thank you for coming in. Angela says, what's wrong with women not being on the front line? Not like men can have babies and repopulate. The earth is all women. If all women get unalive, you people. Oh, wait a minute, Angela. I can't repeat that, Angela. Thank you for coming in. C says, I agree, Angela. Yes, Amber. Yes, Amber says, no need for calling names. Exactly. Ooh, these comments are getting, woo. These comments are wild. Jennifer says, officers are way different than active duty officers. Have college and are 22 year plus when they start to serve. Officers can be called back to service at any time until they pass. G. Raymond, that's just what you heard. You're putting the order of priority to what he said. No. Okay, G. Raymond, thank you for coming in. I will say this. When it comes down to guidelines, you cannot, see, a lot of people have to understand. Okay? This is a platform, this channel, I have to paraphrase it. I have to put it into my words, because otherwise that would be called what? And I have to respect other people's platforms. And I have to respect certain things as far as quote unquote guidelines and policies. Joy says, Thank you to all the new chapters. You've changed my mind on women in combat. SBM, thank you for coming in. SBM says episode number. Thank you for coming back in, SBM. We love you, SBM. Junkyard says, Graham, we need to treat women fairly. They want to be men, so let them be men. Let's repeal. Let's repeal in every state after divorce. They don't get half of a man's assets. Boss ladies need to man up. Hello, Urban the Goddess. Thank you so much for coming in. And thank you guys for coming in today in this live. I appreciate it so, so much. Shout out to everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming in to Urban Goddess, Junkyard, the dog, Joy, G. Raymond, Jennifer, Amber, J, Cannon, Jennifer. Thank you so much for coming in. Cree, Chris. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much, the man, the legend. Thank you so much, Funky. Thank you so much, OG Brand. Thank you so much, I Am Jacob. Thank you so much, Tanner. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming in. Thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much, Amanda. Thank you so much, Seven. Thank you so much, everybody. Art of War. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming in. Thank you so much, Achi. Thank you so much, Easy Peasy. Thank you so much, Northern Dame. Thank you so much, everybody that has came into this live. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. And I'm kind of scanning through. Thank you so much, Marathon Kev. Thank you so much, Wellness. Thank you so much. You guys, thank you so much, Miss Know-It-All. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming in. And I'm strolling. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all the support. Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming in. Shout out to Joshua. Shout out to Janice. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. And you guys know, Amber J says, kids up. Gotta go. Y'all have a great Friday and a safe weekend. Yes, Amber, thank you so much. And I implore you to come back to the channel. Thank you so much. And I always read my motivations at the end of the live. Okay? And before I read my motivation, Amber says, will do, girl. Yes, please. And replay. Support the channel if you want to replay to help. And I want to say this, please, you guys, you know, if you can replay the live, or you can just spare 22 seconds or 19 seconds and watch a short. Yes, even watching a 19-second short does help the channel. Yes, watching a 22-second short does help the channel. And also replaying helps the channel as well, and not skipping the ads, not skipping the commercials. That does help the channel. Liking the channel, liking this live, giving it a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel. That does also help. And last but not least, if you would like to support the channel, you can also donate to and add a super sticker or become a member if you would like. So thank you guys for coming in. And now I'm going to read my words of motivation. I always say the same motivation for you guys to help jumpstart your day as well as your weekend. First thing, always eliminate the if. Focus on the present. Next thing, second thing, focus on self, not on others. What are you talking about, Cannon? You've been reposted to X. What? Cannon, did you do that? The Herbal Goddess says, have a wonderful day, politic and chat. Wait a minute, pause. Cannon. Wait a minute, Cannon. You're making my hand shake. Cannon. What, did you repost me, Cannon? You reposted me on X? Charles, did you repel? Thank you so much, X. I appreciate the support, X. Thank you so much. I swear you guys always get me so emotional. Thank you. Back to the positive. Oh my gosh. Candy, you always get me all hyped up. Joy, everybody. The herbal goddess. Oh my goodness. Art of war, especially you too. But I always say I always give positive motivation. I always say this repetitively every live, okay? And now going back, first, always eliminate the if and focus on the present. Second, focus on self, not others. Third, tell yourself, I will learn something new every day. And also tell yourself, I will not get upset at what I don't have control of. And last but not least, advocate for yourself, because if you don't advocate for yourself, who will speak up for you? And this is Politic Graham. Thank you guys for coming into the live. I appreciate it so much. Shout out to you all. And like I said, please come back. I love these conversations. This is Politic Graham. And always have a peace of mind. Y'all, you know what I'm going to say. Always have a peace of mind and always be in peace. This is Politic Graham. And Candace says, good example of the voice of the people. Yes. Yes. Good example of the voice of the people. Yes, because Politic Graham channel, we welcome all people from all races, all cultures, all genders, all nationalities, and all people from all over the world. And thank you so much, you guys. I love you. Thank you so much. And once again, always have a peace of mind and always be in peace. This is Politic Graham. Bye.